Hello, people. You guys like the quality of the camera? Got a new computer. It's got 1080p camera on it. This is a MacBook Pro. Hi, Natalia. We have some regulars in the house. Keo, hello. Who else is here? I know it's going to be not a very busy session, I think, because holidays and everything, but thanks for coming through. Carol, hello. Anthony, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, so here we are. So who watched today's video? Matthew McConaughey. Hello, Natalia. We always appreciate your comments. They're very insightful and supportive. Thank you so much. Michael, what's up? Donnie, happy holidays. Yeah, happy new year to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure people are with their families ready to celebrate. George, we are just over the bridge and through the tunnel. Thank you. Christina, hello. Faulu, thank you so much for watching that video. So, do you guys have any thoughts, comments? I know people already commented on the video, but anything you want to discuss? Liz, that's not going to work. uh, Joe, how did you miss it? You got to go watch. Justin, thanks for watching it at the gym. Weird feeling, but worth it. I don't know. George Duchette's Turkish hair transplant. Haven't seen it. Hi, David. Happy New Year. Do you do free consults? I do not. They're not free. How do we go about online? Online, yeah, we do virtual consults to start. You just call my office. The info is in the on the channel. You'll see it at the top there. You can also just Google my name. There's lots of ways to get in touch with the practice. All right. Happy holidays, Tony. Thank you. Same to you. Endoscopy brow lift. Yes, I am planning a video on brow lifting. That will happen. So will a surgical and non-surgical neck rejuvenation video. Like I just did a submental lipo case today. I have a deep neck surgery next week. So I want to talk more about that and when you would do one versus the other. Something that I don't think people talk about enough. So we'll do a neck surgery and non-surgical video for you guys. Favorite surgery? I mean, all the surgeries I perform, Mystic, are great. I don't. It's like picking your favorite child. They're all great. More videos on popular celebrities. So here's our plan for the new year, because we know that celebrity videos generally do very well, and you guys always ask for them. Not my favorite type of video to do, but we're happy to do them for you. So we're probably going to alternate. We'll do a celebrity video, and then we'll do a more educational video or a showcase, surgical showcase. We have a bunch of those planned out already. I've already filmed a few that Marco just needs to edit. We'll get those out. For one recent one was for surgical hairline advancement, where we actually show you the whole surgery, talk about it, that type of thing. And another one's for facelift, neck lift. So there are a bunch more that we filmed. We just haven't had time to fully process them. So we'll alternate between celebrity video and then an other, and then back to celebrity, and we'll try to flip-flop kind of back and forth throughout next year. I'm sure we're not going to always be able to continue that pattern, but we'll do our best. So this way there's celebrity one, but then you guys also get to learn in other ways about other types of topics, and don't just get used to celebrity footage. So that is our game plan. Thank you, Christina. You brighten up my day. Oh, that's very nice. All right. Yeah, Natalia says, yeah, I do think that hair transplants are good to perform in like an incremental kind of way for the right patient. I do, because when he was 30, he could have had a massive transplant of like 3,000 grafts, but I really don't think that that's what happened, because it would have been very noticeable, and that area just didn't really require it. So notice how they didn't lower his hairline. That's why I have a video on my channel why younger men should not lower their hairline, and it's exactly for this reason, right? Matt wouldn't look as good if he had his hairline lowered an inch, like some people like to do at a young age. That's not a good idea, and so he was able to get away with a smaller FUT procedure early on, and then follow that up with additional FUT procedures. Guys, you see this? It's the hoodie. Who's gotten their hoodie? Check out the link in the description down below. This is our first merch hoodie. You guys asked for them. Here they are. So far, I think 15 people have purchased hoodies. We appreciate that. We're sending some of the money to the Alopecia Areata Foundation. We actually get a very small amount of money for it after Shopify and Printful and taxes and whatever. So it's not for us to make any significant money. It's really just a fun thing for the practice, for you guys, all about body positivity. We'll have more merchandise and apparel type of things that promote body positivity in the not too distant future. So stay tuned. If you guys have any good ideas, send us an email or a message about what you'd like to see. Caddy, sort of cheesy how he tried to cover it up saying he used a supplement. Yeah, I think it's BS. But yeah, whatever. How much do we charge for FUE? Just call the office. We're pretty straightforward with that. I just don't like talking about it here because the prices do change. So the office has the latest pricing on what it is now. Colette, wow. Yes, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. Dawn. One thing I wonder is, how do you find the balance between someone perhaps mentally in the right place for plastic surgery? How do you gauge if it's a deeper issue? Yeah, I mean, definitely have to develop a feel for that, and I'm not always right. No surgeon, no plastic surgeon is ever always right. Uh, I like to tell people the things that can go wrong, which a lot of doctors don't like to focus on. And these days, for certain procedures of mine, we have very, very detailed consent forms, and they sign those in advance. So when people are signing up for surgery, for certain types of surgeries that we do, they get a very detailed form where they have to sign next to every single line. And it's like a bunch of different things that can go wrong, things that, we can't promise them. So if after all of that, someone, is still willing to and interested in moving forward, if I've already talked to them and deemed them a candidate, we have to hope that it's being done for the right reasons. But a lot of times I feel like I'm trying to save patients from themselves, to be honest with you. Who else? There's a lot of comments coming in, guys, so I'm trying to keep track. Liz, do you want to try to sift through some?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because it's hard to keep up. Lip reduction. I did a lip reduction today. It was actually a revision on one of my patients. She's on my website. She got a great result, and there was one little area that still bothered her, so we just reduced it further. I should make a showcase about that. I don't think I've filmed a full lip reduction from beginning to end. I have to go back and check, but we definitely have examples on the website if you want to take a look in the gallery. When are you planning? Hold on, Brandon. When are you planning on starting YouTube full time? So here's the thing. The funny thing is, I really think that it could theoretically be a full time job, and there's plenty of money potentially if I put all my time into it. So it's not like a financial thing. I think because my practice actually costs a lot to run. So it's like, the net, the actual net profit probably wouldn't be that different, to be honest with you, if I did YouTube all the time. Um, but I'm a surgeon. Like, I trained my whole life to do this type of work, and I'm not really going to let that go to only make videos. And I think I can make better videos if they're inspired by real world things that I'm seeing in clinical, medicine and surgery. So, and I want to be part of, like, for example, in the hair world, hair cloning, when it becomes a thing, I think in our lifetime it will be a thing, and I'd like to be on the forefront of that. And if I'm not, doing great clinical work, then what company is going to want to work with me on some of that stuff, and which patients are going to want to come to me if I'm not doing it often, right? So I don't have plans on quitting surgery. We are trying to figure out how to balance the VA hospital work with the practice with YouTube. That's where it gets tricky. And we have a lot of other projects planned for the practice and for everyone involved. We're working on developing a scar gel, actually. So, lots of different things. And so, yeah, you need time for all of it. And so, yeah, so we'll see how it all comes together. But I don't have any plans on slowing down these days. Like, I'm pretty much operating every day of the week, which is cool. But yeah, so it's the hardest thing is carving out time to plan videos and to film videos. But we're working on making that process a little more streamlined. So we'll see. George says he doesn't care for celebrity, rather just regular people's results. Well, I appreciate that, George, and I'm with you, but a lot of people do like the celebrity stuff. So, kind of have to, in part, give people what they want to hear and see. What, you have one?
Yes, someone said, one thing I wonder is how do you find the balance between someone who is perhaps mentally in the right place?
I already answered that question.
In this chat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
While you were reading the questions, I was already answering it. Do a section of Doctor Reacts episodes of Botched or something. Yeah, that's a good one too. That'd be a fun series for reaction. PRP treatments we do. Again, for cost, you have to call the office. People who are out of town. Yeah, I mean, if you live out of town and you want to do a consult with me, you just call up the office, you email us, and you say, I want to book a consultation. They'll tell you when the next available is, and there's a consult fee, and then we do a virtual visit. We always start these days with virtual visits, even if someone lives down the block from my office. It's always virtual first, so that everyone's treated the same. It's not just because of COVID. It was COVID. I would say COVID inspired. I like to do initial screens by video with no mask. It's a little bit more casual, and I do enjoy that. So we start there, and then if somebody wants to come in person before making a decision on surgery, that's included in the price. We don't charge any more for that, and we schedule that within a few weeks of the virtual. And sometimes I can't make a conclusive decision on whether or not someone's a candidate for surgery. So then I require them to come into the office before being able to offer them surgery. And other times there's no surgery involved. Some people just want to talk about their hair loss, figure out ways of making it better. That's how the process works. Microneedling at 1 millimeter. I mean, that's a little bit of a deep setting. Could have some scarring over time. Probably, especially for starting out, I would go more shallow, 0.5, 0.7. All right. Kybella, I do not offer Kybella. I don't like Kybella. It's hard to control. It's so much easier with submental liposuction. And that's one of the showcase videos we'll be releasing for you guys, probably within the next month or so. And you'll see submental lipo. Kybella, you have to keep coming back for multiple sessions. The cost really adds up. Right now, my practice for submental lipo, we charge $3,500. Kybella, the treatment itself costs about $1,250. By the time the doctor's office takes a cut, they're probably going to be charging you at least $1,750, $2,000 per session, and then you need multiple sessions over many months. So if you add that all up, it's going to be more expensive than getting a submental lipo. If done well, that can give you much better results than Kybella, or cool sculpting. So that's my way to go about it. It's not, there's a lot of submental lipo that's done with like no results. I mean, it has to be done right, and the expectations have to be set appropriately. All right. Happy holidays, everybody. Liz, you got any more?
Yes.
Thanks, Alex Farmer. Appreciate that. Thanks, Hampton. Go ahead.
Does Minoxidil and Finasteride stop or slow down severe shedding if someone is thinning and shedding a lot of hair?
It can. The problem is Minoxidil and Finasteride, they can initially cause more shedding. So you have to be careful. If you have severe shedding, wouldn't necessarily start on those two. Some patients do well with steroid injections, and others do well with PRP injections. So that would be my first and second line. I wouldn't rush to start someone on Minoxidil and Finasteride if they have severe shedding. That wouldn't be my go-to. Tony, ordering sweatshirt today. That's amazing. Thank you. Nikki, hi Doc, hello. Margot just put the link there for our little shop. Would you guys like to see surgical caps? I have Liz, can you bring the surgical? You guys know what it looks like with the logo. We can do something different other than the practice logo. I don't know, but maybe a surgical cap. So yeah, Marcel, I agree. Celebrities should be more forthcoming about hair restoration. I mean, I think so, but I also understand that they have privacy as well, and they can choose to say or not say whatever they want. I get all that, obviously, but I think it would be great to just come out there and say, yeah, I had a hair transplant and I look great because of it. I think it would empower other people to also potentially address an insecurity of their own. But I mean, I think what celebrities sometimes do is they elevate themselves up onto a pedestal, so that others continue to look up to them, right? Because like what makes them a celebrity? Like we made them that, right? We kind of see them as this other type of person, and not just like the rest of us, right? So we've elevated them, and I think that's one of the ways that they continue to maintain that status. That's my sense. I mean, I know you guys might have your own opinion on it, so that's why I don't like. I understand that we should respect their privacy to some degree, but I also have no issues with coming out there and saying, based on my professional judgment, I think this is what may have happened surgically. Uh, I sleep well at night, and that's okay. So and they're out there in the public eye. I'm not the only one scrutinizing results that they may have had, and it's never coming from a place, a mean place. It's never meant to shame them or anything like that. I mean, obviously, this is the work that I do for a living. So. Do you ship overseas? Yeah, Keo. Those sweatshirts. It's not. We don't ship them. It's all done through like Shopify, but they do that stuff. Breast implants. Well, hello is not something you want me talking about. I just do facial plastic surgery and hair surgery. So let's see. When do you think celebrities are openly going to admit they have transplants? Sports stars in Australia are conducting interviews of their post FUE procedure and building positivity. I think that's great. I think that's really cool. I don't know when our US celebrities will start doing the same. I think maybe with some of the more recent generations of younger people, maybe they'll start. Natalia, where can we send ideas? That's a good question.
I'm taking the ideas.
Oh, put the ideas in this chat, and Liz
That's
is
what I
Liz
do.
is Liz is keeping track of that. But in general, I mean, our main email is info@cityfp.com. It's more for the clinical side of things, but you can always people are always sending us messages about YouTube. Actually, someone just recently proposed that myself and Gary Moideke, Dr. Moideke, from California, should do like a Gary duo video, East Coast versus West Coast. I don't know. We've contacted his practice before about a collaboration, and they weren't interested. So go figure. Um, any preventative measures? Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get through this. Thanks, David Chan. Appreciate that comment.
Someone had asked what was your most satisfying case/result?
Most satisfying? I don't know if I have one case that was the most satisfying, but there have been some nice results over the years. And I mean, a lot of the stuff I post online, I'm proud of. That's why we're posting it. And yeah, I think people overall are quite satisfied and happy after the surgeries we do. So that's cool. David Chang asks, what are your thoughts on facial exercises? Well, we have a video coming out very soon on Face Gym, which is like a med spa where they exercise your face. So you'll get to hear some of my thoughts there. Can you do a video about female hair loss? I have hair loss due to hypothyroidism, Kat asks. Yes, we can. Most of the Surgical videos have been male related, I guess. The non-surgical videos also pertain very much to women. Most of them do, and we'll usually put caveats if there's something specific that's, gender specific. Um, because a lot of the medical categories for hair restoration are similar between genders, and then the transplant techniques are not that different. More men than women generally get hair transplants, but women do as well. So we'll hopefully get to highlight, a case for women's hair restoration surgically soon. I hope. Does your
Another one
type, yeah,
was are PRP
nasal hair?
results. Are PRP results the same for women and men?
Yeah, I mean the odds of success with PRP are no different between the genders. It's just that there's a lot of variability in results for either gender, So yeah, so it's not like one gender experiences better results than the other. Because remember, the most common type of hair loss across genders is androgenic alopecia. So it's the same underlying type of problem. There are other types of hair loss, of course, but androgenic alopecia is very much treated in similar ways for men and women. The one main exception I would say would be finasteride, right? Finasteride, as you guys probably remember from my video, shouldn't be used by women that are of childbearing age. It's really for postmenopausal women because of the risk to the fetus. Does your type of alopecia, well, hello asks, affect the nasal hair? If so, how hard is it to keep debris from getting in the nose, in the way? Well, the funny thing is I never really had significant nasal hair, so I don't know if it's been affected. That's a really good question. I haven't noticed any change because I never really was one to have a.
You want me to look
Uh,
under real quick?
yeah,
See if
Liz,
there's any
you
hair?
wanna look at my nose? Let's have a nasal examination by
Let's
Liz.
see if there's any hair in my
But the eyelash question is a good one. Yeah, I think sometimes the eyes get a little drier, and I don't know, they feel like, yeah, like sometimes things can get in there
Here, look
easier.
up real quick.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, you don't have any nose hair.
Really?
You have no nose hair.
No nose
I can like
hair.
yeah, do it again. Oh my god, you don't.
She's laughing at me. You see that?
No, I mean it's just we never like thought of that before.
No nose hair,
And
guys.
probably none in the little ears.
None in my
Little
ears. I never
ear.
really had a lot of ear hair either. At least I know I won't have bushy ears one day, so that's good. It's very low maintenance, I have to say. No hair, uh, but it does take time to get used to. So I found the case of the hyaluronic acid injection on dorsal nasal artery. I only have the information on Insta. May I forward it? Yeah, I guess forward it over, Natalia. Would you ever choose a subscriber and do a hair restoration and document the transformation for YouTube? So yes, we have this whole idea, and I've spoken about this in some of the prior lives, Q&As. But yes, so I have this like really awesome camera that I purchased. It's called the EIZO, EIZO surgical camera, and it came out about a year ago. It's like a Japanese made camera. It's only in just a few operating rooms around the world. And I reached out to them, and they had never had, I guess, a doctor specifically reach out to them. It's, I guess, just been specific certain hospitals, and they were really interested in working with me because they know I'm going to promote their product and all of that. But it's a really, really high-powered camera, 4K, 30x optical zoom. It's pretty crazy, actually. It beats out all the other ones, surgical cameras on the market, by a lot. So we're having that installed. I'm waiting for the arm that the camera is going to mount to arrive from Germany, hopefully by mid-February. In March, I'm going to install it. We have to like support the wall between my rooms with like extra beams and stuff to hold this apparatus. And so then we're going to be able to film like in super, super high def, all the surgeries I do under local anesthesia. So it won't be for like rhinoplasties or facelifts, but for like hair transplants, lip lifts, other things like blepharoplasties, mole removals, liposuction on the neck, things that I do that are under local anesthesia, we'll be able to film. And we plan on doing lives, like YouTube lives, with some of these surgeries. And what we're in the process of doing, anytime someone reaches out to us and they want to sponsor a video, we're starting the conversation off with seeing if they want to sponsor a patient, actually. And this is something that we're in the, it's the early part of this, but we're planning on basically giving people a certain amount of money from the sponsor for their surgeries, towards their surgeries. And
I want to give away all of your ideas.
well, no, Liz is like, I'm giving away my. No, I'm telling you guys what's coming.
No, I mean to the viewers, yeah, but I don't want anyone else to steal.
That's fine. I don't care if anyone steals my ideas. It's okay. It's not about the idea. It's about the execution. So we're gonna give some of that money to the patient and record it and post, and do some of it live, some of it recorded and then posted later. And so that's our idea. So not only, so it's not like it's going to be like free, but there's going to be like a big stipend towards a surgery. And we're not technically supposed to advertise that, like putting out ads requesting that people send us, it's not really allowed. So we have to first get the patient in as a patient, and then we can offer. I'm sure people are going to find out about this stuff and then, bug us about it. But that's what we're in the process of doing. So taking sponsors' money, and instead of just holding on to all of it, like funneling it towards a patient's surgery. And we think that would be super interesting. So that is in store, but we're trying to time that with this new camera, because it'd be awesome to like live stream with the high def camera and then have a second camera in the room so you guys can see everything that's going on. I think that's like ultimate transparency for surgery, right? But I'm not going to do anything different, whether it's just one person in the room or millions of people watching. So we'll see. I mean, and I don't know if it'll all work out, but hopefully it does. Please release surgical caps. Anthony wants surgical caps. So do you want the surgical cap? Liz, can you get the surgical cap?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Do you want it to be like the one I have with like our practice's logo on it, City Facial Plastics, or do you want it to have like a body positive message? It doesn't necessarily have to be this message, but we'll have other messages. We can have options for people to choose from as far as messages go. I don't know. Let us know. How could you tell if someone might be allergic to Botox or filler before they get it, if that makes sense? So, like, in terms of telling if someone's allergic to anything, you can do skin testing, such as like a patch test. And I've never heard of that being done for Botox or filler. Um, some of the fillers of the past that had like other like pig or cow type of, I think it was pig, like certain molecules in there from like, I think it was pig, or no, I think it was no, this is what it was. It was when hyaluronic acid was being made from, it was originally made from roosters. What was it? The roosters, what's that thing that they have? What do you call it? What is that thing that the rooster has on their
red
heads?
thing?
Yeah, the red thing. What's that thing called? The roosters. I'm blanking on the word, but what's the word?
On the bottom?
No, on the head.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. Rooster. Liz, look it up.
Combs? The one with comb, I'm not sure.
Comb, yeah, rooster's comb. Yeah, thank you so much. So the combs, and they would breed these roosters to have larger and larger cones. Combs or cones?
Listen, combs.
Combs.
The
Right,
viewers
combs.
have
Yeah.
answered your question.
Well, I can't, I'm like, I haven't gone all the way down yet. So combs, right. That's right, the rooster combs. So they'd breed these roosters, so they would have these massive combs, and eventually the roosters would just like, their head would just tip over, which is horrible and sad. But that's what happened, and that's the way. And then they would extract these combs and get the hyaluronic acid and make the filler out of that. So at that time, some people were getting allergic to them, and they would recommend getting some skin testing prior to getting those injections. Nowadays, they're actually made through a different process. I think it's it's like they've put it into yeast, and then the yeast multiply, and then they extract out the I think it's a plasmid of containing the hyaluronic acid. I believe that's how it's made now. So no more rooster combs. And so we don't allergy test anymore. So long answer, but that's the answer. So okay, here we go. So this is right. This is the cap. So I ordered. Where did we get these originally?
No, we got it from a woman on Etsy.
Yeah, we got it from a woman on
She was
Etsy.
in,
But then we ordered some recent ones from
I think she's in
Figs.
Louisiana.
But the Figs ones don't come with the logo. We'll have to figure out how to get that, put on there. But we can. So, do you guys want like the main logo, or do you want certain slogans, like body positive slogans? I don't know. Tell us. Let's see. What about City Facial Plastics face masks? All right, Marcel, we can make those too. When making these celeb vids, how do you accurately estimate hair graft size? Just based off of experience and what I'm seeing. It's an estimate. I mean, how do I estimate when someone's coming in to me for a consultation and they want to know, well, how many grafts, doc? Like, I have this area. How many grafts do I need? It's an estimate. It's based off just experience and knowing the field and this is what I do for a living. So we estimate.
Question.
Okay.
This was kind of an interesting one that people were kind of answering amongst
Okay.
themselves.
Yeah.
But like using hair from other parts of the body for transplantation on the head, like
Yeah,
human
body hair. Yeah.
Yeah, body hair, like body hair to scalp.
Yeah, body hair to scalp.
Can
Yeah.
you no, I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't need to
She doesn't want to be on video.
So can you comment on like how that goes in
Body hair.
comparison to like using hair on the head?
Yeah, well, body hair. So fewer of the hairs exist in the anagen phase of the hair cycle. So like on the scalp, it's about 90% of hairs that are in the anagen phase. So they're in the growth phase. Body hair tends to not exist in that phase as often, and so you just don't get the same regrowth as you do with the scalp hair. So that's one of the biggest issues with it. But I saw someone commented on the Matthew McConaughey video like, oh yeah, we maybe like why not do a FUT strip procedure from the beard to the scalp? You would never do that because you don't want a big scar, linear scar on the face, the neck. You don't want that. So anytime we're harvesting, usually it would be from the neck. That's the next best place for hair, for body hair. And we always do that with FUE because then those little tiny scars heal extremely well. You don't want to do, a strip procedure, then it looks like they had a thyroidectomy. All right. What else? Tom Cruise. Thanks, Nikki. That's a good idea. We can do a Tom Cruise video. Yes, comb. Now I see everyone writing comb. Yes, COMB. That's the word. Thank you, guys.
I don't know if you saw this one, but is the liquid or foam minoxidil? Is there a different?
Yeah. Watch whoever asked about the minoxidil stuff. So definitely watch the minoxidil video that we have. We talk about the different formulations. So there's a solution, there's a foam. The solution is it contains polyethylene glycol, and that can cause contact dermatitis. So for not everyone gets that, but a lot of patients do. And for patients who get contact dermatitis, we switch them over to the foam because it doesn't have that element inside the formulation. That's the biggest difference. And then, of course, just the way it feels on the scalp. I would totally do the whole transformation with you, Mr. Goody. What transformation?
He in reference to the videos of the.
Oh, the live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, Mr. Goody, we'll keep you in mind. Recently, when bald at 21, went to a transplant clinic. They told me nothing they could do. Not enough grafts, and balding was too aggressive. Got a date next week because I'm bossing the bald look. Nice. Obelix. That's Obelix. Yeah, that's great. It's that that's my main message throughout in my practice and online. the message is you just have to feel good in your shoes, and it's like whatever gets you there. If it's just feeling good, and because you have that in you, that's great. For some people it requires some additional work, but whatever it takes, and if you don't need surgery, then more power to you. That's great. All right, we're going to talk about cameras and not our questions. I'm out and unsubscribing.
Bye.
Lou Mason.
See you later.
Oh, ouch, that hurt.
But this was a quick question. Lisa B. Kirshner-Paul, hi from Milwaukee. What can I do to firm my neck without cosmetic surgery? I am 60.
Firm the neck without cosmetic surgery. So if you're looking for non-surgical options for the neck, you can consider thread lifting. They don't work that well. You can consider Face Tight by InMode. That's radio frequency energy. Profound, it's more radio frequency energy with microneedling. Those are all things that can have some improvement, but oftentimes you're not going to get a whole lot out of it, and surgery is often your best bet if there's a lot of sag and neck laxity. But you can try these other things, see if they help. They're not cheap, but some people would rather go down that route. What else? Rooster comb, yeah.
Let me know if you want me to fix it.
You could have a body positive message on the front and your practice name on the back. Nice idea. Thank you, Juliet.
I saw a couple things come through about supplements like rosemary oil and or biotin.
Yeah, that's on my list. It's not as exciting to me, so it's lower on the list for non-surgical hair restoration to talk about different types of supplements, and as well as biotin-based vitamins like nutraceuticals for hair. There's some evidence to suggest that some of the stuff can help. Like biotin has some evidence behind it for sure. Rosemary oil, there's like one research study and it has very poor statistics in it. A lot of other things have no data behind them. But actually, one of our TikTok. So we have another video that I filmed. It's not out yet. It's going to be on like certain TikTok trends. So we cover scalp popping, hair popping that people are doing on TikTok. We cover rice water for hair growth and snail facials. Okay, so this is stuff that people are doing for better skin, better hair. So we talk about some of that stuff and what data actually exists for it. So yeah, so we'll get. I'll do a nutraceuticals hair restoration video at some point for sure. You are quite active on YouTube. Are you currently working on the operating room?
Are you currently operating also?
Yes, every day. Every day I operate during the week. So yes, what we do, well, aside from these chats with you guys, we basically film. So like I prep videos usually on weekends, and then we film whenever possible. Whenever, actually, sometimes if patients need to reschedule their surgeries, I get excited because I'm like, oh, there's a block. But don't you guys try to reschedule on us? We have pretty strict rules. But if there's a block that opens up, that's a time to film. And we're working on integrating more sessions into my schedule for filming for YouTube. But usually it'll be like a 3 or 4 hour block, and we'll film like 6 videos. So we have to do it. We have to kind of do it all at once because the time is limited. All right, who else? Thanks, Mr. Goody. BMW George, hello from LA. Doctor, I think I'm a Norwood 5'7". I've been Finasteride for 4 months. I want to be on it for 12 months before I go for a consult. Yeah, I mean, you can go for a consultation anytime. But yeah, that sounds like a reasonable plan. Thanks, Mr. Goody. Again, David. All right. Monolithics. No, I don't have monolithics. I don't have too much experience with monolithics. Create follicle. Is it possible to create a follicle from nothing? Yeah, I mean, it is. but getting it to grow and to recycle, to go through the hair cycle, has not been easy to do. That's why we don't have hair cloning yet. All right, what
Anything
else?
you want me to pick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've seen, I think, a few people ask about finasteride pre and post hair transplant. Is it something that you recommend, or would someone, if they couldn't be on finasteride pre hair transplant, would that be, an issue?
Yeah, so
or-
finasteride and a hair transplant. In our finasteride video, we talk about hair transplants and how the two are related. But basically, not everyone who gets a hair transplant needs to be on finasteride. If someone is much older and they don't have too much hair remaining, or they have a very stable pattern that they're looking to augment, they don't necessarily need to be on finasteride. If they're like 45, 55, 60, that it's not going to really do too much for them, most likely, because their hair is fairly stable by that time. But a younger patient in their 20s, 30s, uh, you want to preserve what you have, and you don't know if the hair is going to preserve itself or if it's going to need the help of something like finasteride. And then if you're investing into a transplant, you want everything to look good, and then you don't want the transplanted hairs to grow in, the pre-existing hairs to start to fade out, and then it looks like you still don't have too much hair. So that's the reason to consider either starting or continuing finasteride as it relates to a transplant. Il Toro, nice to meet you from Italy. I can't wait to go back to Italy. I love Italy. So one day we'll go back. Going to Turkey for a hair transplant. Are they reputable? It's not like the whole country is reputable or not reputable. Just depends on the clinic and the specific doctor. So, even here in the United States, it's not like everyone who offers hair transplants knows what they're doing. So, you just have to do your research. And you have to think about, pros and cons of traveling abroad for a surgery. Yeah, we have a video on that actually. Turkey, if you put in Turkey and Linkov or whatever, you'll find it. Favorite food, Isaac. Favorite food. What's my favorite food?
Desserts.
Yeah, I love dessert. Dessert. Yeah, and most kinds of dessert. Definitely like the molten chocolate cake with the warm interior with the ice cream on top. Amazing. Huda, any advice on how to protect transplants during sleep post-op? Well, you want to sleep elevated and you want to surround yourself with pillows and sometimes even like a neck pillow so you're not rotating. And if you can sleep in just a recliner for a few nights, that would be even better. I attempted a deadlift at the gym. And I had like a rash on my face. Oh, I don't know how to help you with that rash on the face after lifting weights. I don't know. My scar stretched after my transplant. The scar revision work? Yeah, sometimes scar revision for an FUT could work. Other times we do scalp micropigmentation. Other times we can do an FUE to put grafts into the scar. Why isn't oral minoxidil more mainstream? It's 10 times easier than topical. Yeah, Giampero, that's a good point. We do prescribe it in my practice. Well, first of all, it's not over the counter, so people are getting topical minoxidil over the counter. Also, it's not the FDA approved version of it, even though we know it works. So I don't know. And then the people who aren't in the hair world sometimes feel uncomfortable prescribing it. How are plastic surgeons and hair and face transplants linked? I am extremely interested in face transplants. There are certain plastic surgeons, usually academic-based plastic surgeons, where they have massive teams of people who offer face transplants, but it's a very uh, multidisciplinary type of procedure. You can't just do it in a private practice, and then people have to be on very strong immunosuppressive medications. to undergo, that type of surgery. So, yeah, but they are pretty interesting for sure. What else? Barbecued sushi. Is it true that a hair transplant can help already existing hair grow thicker or kickstart other hair follicles to grow again? No, it's actually the opposite, believe it or not. So that gets into the issue of shock loss. When you do a hair transplant around an area of pre-existing hair that might be in its kind of villous form, meaning a little bit finer, miniaturized, you do a transplant and you can actually make those hairs disappear even faster than they were going to anyway. That's called shock loss, and that usually is a temporary process. It could be permanent, but it's really the opposite. If you do a hair transplant, you can only injure the existing hairs. You're not going to make them grow thicker. Anthony, have you ever done work on a celebrity? I can't answer that question. Chocolate lava chocolate larva cake? I think it's chocolate lava cake, but yeah, if it was a larva cake, that would be pretty gross. Let's see. Any plans for collaborating with Derek for more plates, more dates? He's ghosted us. He's actually replied to some of my Instagram messages, but anytime we've asked for collaboration, he's kind of ghosted us on that. So no plans at the moment. And honestly, we, have like I think maybe we've gone our separate ways in many respects with the channels, and so I don't really have any like burning interest. I can tell you I'd love to collaborate with Lex Friedman. I love his podcast. He's a super insightful guy, extremely intelligent. I think a sit down conversation about plastic surgery, about hair restoration, about medicine, different topics in medicine and healthcare could be super interesting with Lex. So I would love to do that one day. But, I guess he's too busy interviewing Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and, the heads of like I don't know, CDC or whatever. So I don't think he has time for me right now, but maybe one day. And we have a very similar cultural background. So I think it would be a really, really cool collaboration with Lex.
Speaking of collabs, Natalia L asked, when are we getting Dr. Mike here?
Yeah, Dr. Mike. Yeah, well, we have some mutual friends, and so we might be able to get on with him. He's got a huge channel, and he's very strategic. He collaborates with people where, it could help his channel. I don't think my channel was going to help him in any way. And so we'll see. Maybe down the road when we get bigger, he'll have some interest. But yeah, I think that would be interesting. I also have a similar cultural background to Dr. Mike, and he lives in the area. So yeah, our paths haven't crossed in real life yet. But I'm sure, especially if we continue down this YouTube road, which I'm sure we are, or will be, uh, we will definitely be in touch and collaborating in one form or another down the road. Austin Shang, who's actually a mutual friend, he's my former classmate in med school, and a great guy, and he's very busy with social as well. And he's a GI doctor, so he and I have plans to do a collaboration in the new year, hopefully in like February. But and he's worked with Dr. Mike before, uh, but we'll see.
There was another question, a question just about eyebrow transplant. So if the hair on the head that's being transplanted is gray,
If the hair on the head is gray and you're putting it on the eyebrows,
yeah,
will it be gray?
yeah,
Yeah, it would be gray. You just would have to color it. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, if you transplant gray hair, it's going to be gray in the new location. Yeah, Dr. Mike has 8 million subs. Exactly. And he just apparently turned down some big time show deal because, he didn't want to, uh, I guess, sacrifice his ethics. So, yeah. Gustavo says, Dr. Gary, concentrate on making your channel grow. So far, you're doing awesome. Later on, they'll be knocking on your door and on all of your channels. I appreciate that, Gustavo. That's what we're doing. We're really like laser focused on what the channel needs to succeed, and so far so good. Michelle, I'm a beekeeper and get stung. Will that help my skin? Uh, help your skin? I mean, you might have a bad reaction. And I mean, if they produce honey on you, I don't know. That's like a interesting, odd question. I don't know how to answer that.
Oh, there's another kind of funny-ish question. Which is worse, Kybella or hair transplant robots? I know you feel strongly
Kybella
about
or
them.
what's worse, Kybella or hair transplant robots? I think
And why?
hair transplant robots because it's gonna be more expensive and there's more of a chance at causing you more harm, in my opinion, than Kybella. Um, but yeah, I don't know. And it's Kybella is like it's hard to cause a lot of damage with it unless like you really don't know what you're doing. But I feel like with the robot, bigger scars, limited access to the donor area. It's just I just don't like it. Yeah, but both aren't great. And then you could throw buccal fat removal into the mix. Another least favorite of mine. Um, let's see. SW. I got my hoodie today. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Do you get along, RJDA virus? Do you get along with Dr. Anthony Yoon? I, I mean, why not? I don't know him personally. Never interacted with him. So I'm sure I would, though. I don't see why not. What else? What work do you think Nancy Pelosi has had on her face? I'd have to analyze her face closer. I don't like to just throw stuff out. It does take me some time to look through all the photos and come up with these things. Oh, our next celebrity, I'll tell you guys now. Next celebrity video is Ariana Grande, and that's probably coming out maybe next week. So that's exciting. I think that one's going to do well. And I think she's had a lot of work, Ariana Grande. You'll see. Uh, but yeah. What else? Was growing your YouTube channel always one of your goals, or did you drop a few videos for fun and saw the viewership and then wanted to continue? It's definitely the latter, Anthony. Yeah, no, it was definitely never a goal of mine at all, and I had no idea that it was a thing. To be honest with you, up until a year ago, and it was really Marco's idea. He was like, because we were making some small videos for the website, and he's like, "Oh, you want to make some YouTube videos, like reaction video or something?" And I was like, "I don't know anything about that. Like, why would I do that?" So yeah, and then I started searching, and I was like, "Oh, look at this ridiculous like person injecting themselves with filler," and that was one of our first ones, the DIY filler video, and it's done really well, and it's been picked up by other like the doctors had it. They showed my clip in one of their videos. So yeah, I mean it's been interesting, and we've had like media people reach out, and that was one of our first. And then I did the lip lift one, where I basically disagreed with Anthony Yoon on the indication for lip lifts, because that's what I do regularly, and so I have great results. And I didn't agree that younger people shouldn't get lip lifts, so I made a video about it, and that's gotten a lot of attention too. So those were some of the originals, and then we just started to continue to like have fun with it, and then people kept watching and it grew. So then we're like, all right, well, I guess we got to invest more time into this. Imposter. I think Matthew McConaughey has one of the best transplant jobs. Yeah, very good work. I agree. Isaac, are you excited about the new year? Are you excited about the new year? I'm excited. Yeah, we have a lot in store for everybody, and the practice is picking up, so it's definitely exciting. Don't all YouTube doctors know each other? No, we don't. And actually, like we've tried to now collaborate with more non-medical people on the channel. They're much more interested in collaborating, even people with bigger channels, than the medical folks. And I don't know if that's like some competition that they feel or what. I don't feel any of that. But I don't know if some other doctors feel that way. But it's been harder to establish collaborations with other doctors on YouTube than it has been with just other types of people.
Oh,
Sarah, I had a lip lift at 26. Best decision ever. Good for you. I'm glad. How do I tell the good rhinoplasty doctors from the bad ones?
oh, and that question,
Mhm.
that was before you didn't see it, but she also asked that same person, just going along with that.
Lena.
Yeah, which I thought this was an interesting question. Is it bad or good if a plastic surgeon says he's confident he can get a good result for a rhinoplasty, or is it better if they're realistic and say they can't give the nose I want, just similar?
I mean, some of that just might be semantics. Yeah, some of it might be semantics. I mean, you want someone who's confident in being able to deliver a result for you, but you also want them to keep everything quite realistic about what's possible specifically for your nose and your situation. So yeah, it's hard to find good doctors. It's hard to find good anything, right? Like, how do you find a good restaurant? How do you find a good plumber? I mean, it's difficult, right? Where do you guys go for that? I mean, where do I go? Like when, we need to find someone and we start searching, we start asking around. I think everyone goes through a similar process. So for doctors, you look at their reviews, you look at their photos, you look at their website, see if you connect, you do a consultation, see if you like them. You have to make sure that you feel comfortable with the person and that they'll care for you even after the surgery, right? Because sometimes surgery can be unpredictable. Things can happen. You don't want someone to like abandon you because you had a complication, or anything like that. So all of those things are important in searching for the right doctor for anything, not just for rhinoplasty. Lori Hill, Kat, yeah, and we're always in touch. I mean, she's become a friend, but we don't have plans for another collaboration at this time. We just recently did one. All right.
And then can you
Who else?
transplant hair from other people?
No, you can't transplant hair from other people because your body will reject it unless you're on those immunosuppressive medications, like after a face transplant, for example, like we talked about earlier, or like after kidney transplant, heart transplant, lung transplant. But for hair, no one's going to go on immunosuppressive drugs to get a hair transplant from someone else. Who else? Thread lifts, Sarah, just don't last. They don't last. They can be done safely, but they just don't really last. Tom Brady. Yeah, we should do one on Tom Brady. You're right. Haven't done that yet.
And then didn't you do like a short post on that on Instagram or something like that?
Natalia, I would never do plastic surgery, but I support this channel because this is an industry filled with greedy liars, and the world needs more honest people like Dr. Gary. He deserves to be seen and known. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, there's lots of people who are dishonest in every profession, and it definitely carries over into plastics. How does someone get into the hair transplant industry? Um, After med school, do you just apply? No, yeah, so there's no like specific training program, like as a residency. Like there's no core training program for hair transplants. Usually it's like a form of a fellowship or an apprenticeship with someone. Some people take a weekend course, but I don't think you can fully learn hair just by reading a book or taking a course. You really have to train with someone. I had a patch of hair yanked out during a jujitsu accident. No bleeding, only a little swelling. Is the patch likely to grow back? It is likely to grow back, but you never know. Sometimes it doesn't. Hair transplant from your twin will likely not work either. Dwayne, what happened? No, it's a good question if you're not a routine subscriber, which you should be. But if you don't know the channel well, you might not know that I have alopecia areata, which is an autoimmune type of hair loss. But we talk about that openly on this channel. Floyd Mayweather, I mean, I did a video on him, so you can check that out.
Posted the link.
Thank you. Oh, there's the link. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Liz. Both my plastic surgeon and my dermatologist won't do thread lifts because they're expensive and they don't last. Yes, that's exactly what I was getting at. I don't use Sculptra in my practice, but it is used successfully by some of my colleagues. So just if they're comfortable with it, it just requires multiple sessions over many months to start to see anything. Renee, the problem with a mini facelift is that it depends what you mean by mini, right? So, like, a mini makes people feel better because they're not getting the whole big thing. The problem is usually they don't last as long, and usually the scarring is worse. And if you watch my facelift, Liz, can you post the facelift video link?
The one with the
Facelift explained.
yeah.
You'll see how facelifts can be done, and the problem with the mini is that you're not releasing all of that tension, and when you have built up tension at the skin, that's when you get pulling and you get thicker scars. So while you went in for a mini facelift that was maybe done awake, didn't take too long, you didn't pay that much, you end up being worse off, than if you just did the full thing. Thanks, Dwayne. Appreciate that. Skincare routine. One day. I'll drop it, Isaac, one day. Uh, fat transfer. Um, June, the fat transfer is variable. Sometimes it can, well, first of all, about 50% of the fat gets resorbed. So you don't know which fat, like say it's a fat transfer to the face, you don't know which of the fat is going to last. And you don't know how long it's going to last for. But it's usually more, uh, not permanent, but it's there for longer than, say, HA filler. Yeah, Kat, tear troughs are difficult. Fillers can be unpredictable. Lower blepharoplasty is usually the way to go. Yeah, Renee, excessive scarring would be scary. So it's better to do proper deep plane techniques where you're really elevating the smaz layer on the inside, securing that layer well, and then just redraping the skin and taking what comes and not pulling on the skin. Silicone scar sheets. Yeah, for my patients who have surgery and they have incisions that are healing, usually around day 12 after surgery, we do recommend starting on some silicone scar gel. And we're actually in the process of making our own early stages of that. Okay, maybe two more questions. Do you have any good ones?
Let me see here.
And Christina, that's a very specific question. You have to talk to your doctor about that. Every case is very different. So, it depends what kind of specific surgeries they did for you for the facial feminization. You have to talk to a surgeon, like in a consultation about that.
Maybe a question about I don't know if you know so much for laser hair removal. Um, some saying coarse hair of African descent on the darker side of the spectrum, skin tone wise.
Okay.
Would like to try laser hair removal.
Yeah, I don't do laser hair removal.
Okay, I didn't know if you've
Yeah, no, I don't
seen
know.
any I know you sometimes get people that have had laser hair removal that want hair back.
Oh, after laser hair removal?
No, I'm just saying. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Beard transplant, is it safe? It is safe for most people. Yeah, yeah. It's safe, just like as safe as any hair transplant is. I mean, if you're following proper techniques, there's no reason why it's not safe. All right. Well, thank you guys. I think we've reached the end. Secret of Trump's hair. Um, well, I did a media thing with I forgot, it was In Style. If you search In Style Trump and then my name, you'll see my reaction to Trump's hair. We thought about making a video, but we didn't want to get too like political. So yeah, I don't know if we'll release that one day or not. Guys, happy New Year! Thank you so much for joining and participating. And once again, check out the hoodies. Hopefully you guys like them. We'll have more stuff. I guess probably a surgical cap is coming next. But yeah, happy New Year. Bye guys. Take care. See you.